Hello, my name is Perry Williams, and welcome to the Bund Oriental Pearl Tower Audio Guide. Our tour begins on the west side of the Huangpu River with a list of colonial-era frameworks along Zhongshan Road. The word Bund means embankment, referring to the 1-mile riverfront stretch. The history of the Bund travels as far back as the early 20th century, when it housed numerous banks and merchants from the US, UK, Japan, and Russia. However, many if not all the institutions moved out in the 50s due to the communist win in the Chinese Civil War. Half a century later, economic reforms were put into place, freed the market economy among Shanghai. Gratefully, the economic changes stabilized Shanghai as the economic power in China. Our journey begins at the number 1 building on the corner of Zhongshan Road and Yan'an Road. Number 1. Asia Building. 1916, originally the Shanghai offices of Royal Dutch Shell and Asiatic Petroleum Company. The old profits allowed the addition of 2 more floors in 1939. It currently is used by China Pacific Insurance Company. Number 2. Shanghai Club. This neoclassical structure was the most exclusive gentlemen's club of its day, so extravagant that membership fees and monthly dues were required. Nowadays, the club houses the luxurious Waldorf Astoria Shanghai. Number 3. In Neo-Renaissance style, we have the Union Building, constructed in 1916, the first building in Shanghai to use a steel structure. Today, it is a shopper's paradise called the Three on the Bund, accommodating elegant stores such as Giorgio Armani. Next, the Nissan Building at number 5. Held Nissan Navigation Company, the Japanese shipping firm. Now it's used by Huaxia Bank and Jindu Industry. Further down the road, at number 6, we have the American-friendly Russell & Company building. It is said Russell & Company was one of the most prestigious American companies to function in China. Today, it is devoted to designer boutiques and fine dining. Further north, we arrive at the number 7 building called the Great Northern Telegraph Company. This company is famous for operating the first telephone switch in Shanghai in 1882. Nowadays, the Bangkok Bank and the Royal Thai Consulate General occupy this office and can be easily distinguished by its bird-like statue at the entrance. Walking further, we see what stands at number 9, referred to as the China Merchants Bank Building, the first Chinese-owned bank in China. However, we currently are looking at the Xiaozi Chen's flagship store. Next, we are probably at the most astonishing building on the Bund. At the 12th spot is the HSBC building. Inside and out, the structure overwhelms you with remarkable pageantry. Today, this grand building is home to the Shanghai Pudong Development Bank. Continuing on, we reach number 13, the Customs House. The Clock and Bell was built in England as an imitation of Big Ben. The building remains a customs house to this day. Next door is the China Bank of Communications building as number 14, the last building to be constructed here on the Bund. Nowadays, the address is owned by Shanghai Council of Trade Unions. The next short stubby building is known as the Russell Chinese Bank Building. Built by German architects, it is now home to the almighty Shanghai Foreign Exchange. At 16, we have the Bank of Taiwan. Taiwan was a tremendous investor in Shanghai. However, now it is the China Merchants Bank. Moving along, this tall structure was known as the North China Daily News Building. The company at the time was the most popular English newspaper in China. Later, America International Insurance, a subsidiary of AIG, established it as their office. Walking further north, we arrive at number 18, the Chartered Bank Building. It housed one of the oldest foreign banks in Shanghai. Today, it is home to extravagant shopping centers and exhibitions. Next, we arrive at what was called the Palace Hotel, one of the finest hotels on the Bund at the time. Now, it is the southern portion of the Peace Hotel and is known as the Swatch Art Peace Hotel. The building is also home to illustrious stores. The other portion of the Peace Hotel is called the Sassoon House. Its ballrooms were famous for live performances from the top artists of its time. Across the street, we find ourselves at the Chengyi Plaza. A statue of Chengyi lies directly in the middle. He was a war veteran turned mayor of Shanghai in the 1950s. Here at the plaza, we get a great view of the Pudong skyline. Further down the Bund, we reach number 23, the Bank of China. It remains the property of the bank to this day. Next, the Yokohama Specie Bank building. This was a prominent Japanese bank in the 20th century. It is now the Industry and Commerce Bank of China. Further along the Bund is the Yangtze Insurance Association building. Today, it is the Shanghai branch of the Agricultural Bank of China. Next door is the Jardine Matheson building. Jardine was a very powerful man due to his business in the opium trade. He also was a smart businessman, finding himself in all sorts of operations. Today, it is dressed with high-class shops and restaurants. At 28, the Glen Lai building, home to the Scottish shipping firm. Today is home to the Shanghai Cultural Radio, Film, and TV Bureau. The last building we have on the Bund is the Banque de l'Innovation. You have to forgive me, I'm not a French speaker. The French bank is now the Shanghai branch of the Everbright Bank of China. At the end of the Bund is a very honorable monument called the Monument of the People's Heroes. There is another version quite different in Beijing. The monument was built to remember the soldiers who lost their lives in the revolutionary efforts. It stands 24 meters tall and is shaped like 3 rifles standing on each other for support. Our next stop is across the Huangpu River. Many of you may be wondering, how will we reach the other side? Well, you're in for a little treat. Just south of the Beijing Road is the entrance to the Shanghai Sightseeing Tunnel. The tunnel will transport us to the Pudong, just west of our journey, the Oriental Pearl Tower. The tunnel transports us in standing carts underneath the Huangpu River. The tunnel is thrilled with colorful light beams that will leave you full of awe. The ticket is inexpensive at 45 yuan or $6.50. Standing in front of us, 468 meters or 1,535 feet high, is the Oriental Pearl Tower, the second tallest structure in Shanghai. You may be wondering, is there anything in those multiple spheres? In fact, there lies the real enjoyment of the tower. For 150 yuan or $22, we will have access to all 3 spheres. The first sphere holds the Shanghai Municipal History Museum. This history museum demonstrates Chinese traditional life through wax figurines. The displays are lifelike, to say the least. In the top sphere, we can obtain a bird's eye view of Shanghai, with glass being majority of the walls and floors. Tourists normally are overwhelmed by the magnificent city that is Shanghai. Quite breathtaking, isn't it? This concludes our journey of the Bund and Oriental Pearl Tower. Be sure to grab a bite to eat in the revolving restaurant, in which a 250 yuan or $37 buffet revolves around you and around the tower as you enjoy your food. In addition, be sure to visit the riverfronts at night. The scene is unmatchable in its decor.